There's a place I have found in the shade on the ground, far from all worries and troubling sound. When I go there to be by myself, only me. No one can guess what I came there to see. There's a sun.
Hey everyone, it's Sevy, and I'm currently in La Mesa Eco Park on this beautiful, cloudy, overcast morning. Anyway, it can be really easy to get tunnel visioned or super focused on one problem or one routine or one goal. And it's good to have, routines and goals, but when it becomes too much, your world tends to get small and it doesn't feel pleasant. I was like that a lot of the time for years. Honestly, I'm going through it a little bit right now, but roll back to December 2024. I was still fresh from my breakup. It was the first holiday season I was single in 6 years. And it was difficult, and my world definitely felt so small then. My problems felt really, really big. But thankfully, my family still had their post-Christmas Cebu trip. We went, and that time I made the conscious decision to try to find ways to make my small world feel wider. I learned a lot of things on that trip that I want to share with you now. So let's go.
You feel the same way too. There's a place I have found in the shade on the ground, far from all worries and troubling sound. When I go there to be by myself, only me. No one can guess what I came there to see.
So the first thing is, I don't have to look too far or too hard to find something to do or find something to enjoy or have fun with. I know that this might sound counterintuitive to a wider world where you might want to look far or go far, but sometimes I think that when traveling or looking for something to do or break out of your routine, it might seem like too big of a task if you need to go somewhere far or do a 1-hour drive, or it's this big touristy spot or this big event that you need to prepare for or prepare yourself to enjoy. So for me, one simple way to break out of that, or at least to cut that step short and make it easier, is to just look for something nearby. And one way I was able to do that in Cebu is it took me all of 2 minutes to look on Google Maps, see what's nearby. And there wasn't really anything special, but what I did spot was a Japan surplus store. It might sound so inane, but the thing is, since I moved into my new apartment, I'd been getting recommendations to, check out a Japan surplus store for furniture or kitchenware or houseware or something that you can get on a deal or thrift shop. But I hadn't been able to go to one while I was here in Metro Manila. So when I spotted one nearby, I got so excited and I was like, yeah, let's go. And again, I'd never been to one, but this place was so much bigger than I thought it would be. There was so much stuff in there, literally so much furniture. I wish I could ship back to Metro Manila. There were thrifted clothes. There was a lot of chinaware, a lot of kitchenware, a lot of cute decor, big cabinets and small cabinets and knickknacks. And there were so many things that I wish I could take home with me, but I didn't have enough luggage space to take home a lot. Whether you take them home or not, I was glad I got to find that place.
You left me stranded, looking like a fool.
The next thing that I learned is someone's always willing to share their story. So if you're curious enough and you have the opportunity, listen to it. Somewhere in Cebu City, near where we were staying, is this place called Atua, Midtown. And it kind of houses like a community of artists, and these are a lot of shops that sell artisanal and unique products. I think there was even like a tattoo artist there. There were like a couple of bookstores and some concept cafes as well. And it's just a really lovely place overall. There were also other indie artists tabling there at the time. So we go there, we visit the place, and it's lovely. There's so much unique stuff you can find there, like apparel, crafts, souvenirs, handmade stuff. But there was this one shop in particular called Holy Cow, and it was technically short for Holistic Coalition of the Willing. They work with communities on sustainability projects, and there's some beautiful stuff in there. Like a lot of their flagship stuff were their woven crafts. But what did catch our eye actually were these postcards with art of birds. It was like illustrated birds on the postcards, and we were so curious about them because they looked really unique against all the other stuff that were in the shop. And a few minutes later, the artist of the illustrations herself, her name is Kay, she walked into the store, and Kay was very happy to talk about what was behind the project, what her thought process was behind it. And it is basically working with the scientific community of Argao and helping support them through her art.
Cebu Technological University, Argao campus, came up with a publication that details the flora and fauna of Mount Lantoy. Mount Lantoy is the second highest peak of Cebu Island. These are the animals of that place, and these are critically endangered. But I was looking at it, there is a lot of beauty and information that is not accessible because who would want to read of birds in Lantoy? I mean, I'm interested in it, but if it's not packaged in a way that can be used in everyday life, would you read a 200-page this is the scientific name of this bird and all of that? You won't. It's like whatever. But if you package it in a way that can make people care about it, then they will care about it, and maybe
it was just really lovely listening to her passion behind it. And I think meeting people who are passionate about things and hearing them talk about it, whether it's about their life or their work, it just lets you see the world through their eyes, like different eyes. It takes you out of your perspective and lets you listen to what else other people could be experiencing or hearing or saying or feeling. I want to thank Kay for giving us that experience.
Oh, my love, you're such a fragile thing, I know. And with the winter comes the ice, the snow.
The third thing is honestly, go see some nature. Go touch some grass. I feel like this one doesn't need that much elaboration. Being around nature doesn't have to be this big thing where like you go on a mountain hike or you take a full beach day. It can just be going out for a walk, going to your nearby park, or like taking a moment at the shore. And in Cebu, because it is an island, we went to this place called 10,000 Roses in Cordova, and it's basically like a pier seaside type thing, but not a beach. And it wasn't quiet by any means. Like, it was a bit of a tourist destination. There's like a cafe there, there was like music playing, and there were 10,000 roses there for people to see. But there, nature was the sunset, it was the sky, it was the wind coming towards the shore, it was the waves, the sound of waves lapping back and forth, and like the light coming off of them. There's just something about being among the natural forces of this big world that makes you feel small but whole. And when I was there sitting and just watching the clouds pass by, it was one of those evenings that I wish could last forever.
We all just ants up on a hill, digging,
Hi.
working,
Hello.
the earth till we get our fill.
I guess another thing that I learned is you want to welcome the quiet moments. In our family, holidays like Christmas and New Year's, they're actually kind of quiet, intimate affairs. And the thing is, when I was younger, they used to be like louder. I had a lot of relatives come over and gather, but since then, a lot of my relatives have actually migrated. So nowadays, it's just me and my immediate family having our little Noche Buena for Christmas. We usually just like home make some stuff. We play some games and that's it. For New Year's, it was also something similar. So I know that we were in Cebu to like see family and we had our family dinner on New Year's Eve. But after that, my parents and I, we just retired to our hotel room. We waited out midnight there. We put on the TV for a countdown. Our little medianoche for that year, they were kind of just like snack buys from the nearby grocery. And we just chilled there. We just talked, chatted, rested. We just stayed with each other. And when the fireworks started, we sat by the window and just watched them go off for as long as they could. Whether that's how I prefer it or not is neither here nor there. It's just take the quiet moments as they come. And for me, those quiet moments, they also are opportunities to just like pull your perspective back, just put some distance between yourself and the thing that made your world small in the first place, the thing that you were too tunnel visioned on. Sometimes those types of quiet moments are just what can cut through the noise of life and just clear that space for yourself.
I spend most of my time viewing what I want.
The last main thing I wanted to share with you guys is this piece of advice that my friends just kept giving me post-breakup. Learn to be by yourself. Do things on your own. Be alone. Be by yourself. And it's good advice. And it doesn't just have to apply to post-breakup blues or post-breakup stages. There are a lot of perks to doing things by yourself. Like, for example, you don't have to follow other people's schedules. I set aside a morning to afternoon for myself while I was in Cebu. I didn't have to be summoned by a friend or a family member to go out at a certain time. I just read until I was bored and then I got ready and I left to explore the nearby mall. You don't have to like worry that your friends or your companions aren't interested in checking out that shop nearby that caught your eye. For me, while I was exploring the mall, I saw from the window of this shop a whole bunch of miniature houses. And the thing is, I love miniatures. I was so curious about it. So I went in and it turned out to be this Christmas village museum. It also had this thing where you could purchase a house and your name would be displayed on it as a sponsor and the proceeds of that go to charity. And that was awesome and that was cool. But for me, I just really enjoyed like seeing all the little moving parts, the little like features, little details. I just love miniatures so much and I just stayed there for a good while. The other thing that I've come to enjoy about being by yourself is, you know, when you're in a big group and sometimes it takes forever to decide where to eat because people have different things that they want to eat at the moment. Yeah, well, when you're by yourself, the only person you need to worry about pleasing in terms of appetite is yourself. That day, all I was craving was a good vegetable dish. So I went into Bohol Bee Farm. I ordered myself one of their specialty lumpiang ubod. Had a little date by myself. Sometimes people use this alone time as opportunity to journal or read their book or catch up on messages. And I love journaling and I love reading. But this time, I kind of just sat there with myself. When it comes to widening your world, it's not just about what's out there. It's also about learning what's going on in here, deepening your understanding of your inner world, your thoughts and your feelings, and what you are experiencing. The more clarity and self-awareness you have on that, the more ready you are to experience what's out there and to enjoy what comes towards you. And who knows, when you do that check-in with yourself, you might be surprised at what you find.
I can live my life.
Family trips, especially on the holidays, and for those who aren't really great with their family, like, they can be stressful affairs. Sometimes they are for me, but I'm particularly grateful for this trip and everything that I learned from it. I just wanted to share that with you. And honestly, going through the motions of sharing this with you also kind of forced me to revisit those lessons and try to get myself out of the tunnel vision I've been growing into these past few days. I just hope that whatever you're going through, this was something maybe you could try out. That's going to be all. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I will see you soon. Take care.